Hi everyone. My name is Apeksha Kaushik and I am Senior Content Producer with ETHRWorld. Today, I'm your host and moderator for this evening. Nelson Mandela once said, "It is in your hands to make the world a better place." Today, I'm sure all the organizations and leaders are working towards making the world a better place. And how are they doing it? Simple, with dedication and hard work, and with the immense help of technology. Today, we have gathered to discuss a very crucial and distinctive topic: super platforms to build a better world for frontline workers. Experts say that tech platforms are the most significant way of enhancing the lives of frontline workers. Tech platforms are becoming the super platforms for the employees and the employers because these platforms are giving access to formal jobs while at the same time also providing access to necessary services such as insurance, upskilling, and security benefits. Today, I have senior industry leaders joining me from across the country to share their thoughts and insights on how to make gig workers familiar with digital platforms, how to make digital platform a super platform, do's and don'ts of digital platforms, why is it important to enable tech for the frontline workers. Please join me in welcoming my first guest, Asit Kumar, CHRO, Ledinkat. I have also with me Harjeet Khanduja, Senior VP Human Resources, Reliance Jio. Next we have Sushmita Khare, CPO, Lightbite Foods Private Limited, and Tarun Sinha, CEO, BetterPlace Enterprise Business. Welcome everyone.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. So glad to have you with us today. So thank you for taking out your precious time and joining us for this discussion. Before we start the conversation, I would like to thank the delegates joining us for this webinar. Please make sure you take your notes and ask questions in the Q&A tab. Our guests will be responding to your questions towards the end of this session. So without further ado, I would like to ask my first question to Harjeet. Hello, Harjeet. So, Harjeet, we are all talking about making India, digital, and undoubtedly India is moving towards everything digital. But there are still a lot of apprehensions for gig workers to be digital tech friendly, if we can say that. So, what do you think are the key factors to follow to make gig workers familiar with digital platforms? Harjeet, over to you.
Thank you, Apeksha. I will tell you a couple of stories, and through those stories, I will try to derive what are the reasons because of which we are talking about gig workers being tech friendly or digital. So when we were under lockdown, and frankly speaking, this entire tech thing has come because of lockdown only. So when we were under lockdown, so my dry cleaner called me, and I was like, why is dry cleaner calling me? So I picked up the call. He said, do you need vegetables? I was like, first, you are a dry cleaner. How come you are selling vegetables? So he said, sir, till yesterday, you needed dry cleaning. So I was doing dry cleaning. Today you need vegetables. So I'm selling vegetables. Now, this is the first basic thing. If you are a gig worker, adaptability is one of the most important things for a gig worker to be there. And let me come to the tech skills of the same guy. After a few days, I found that in my house, earlier we were having only dal and roti, and then I saw a variety of vegetables. So I asked my wife, what happened? Did you change the vegetable vendor? She said, no, I did not change the vegetable vendor. Vegetable vendor has changed his practices. I said, tell me how. She said, now he takes orders on Google Forms and he accepts all kind of digital payments. Because of that, his business has grown 10 times. So he is able to provide variety now. Now this dry cleaner got into the role of vegetable vendor, and he started using world's best technology, which is Google and like all kind of digital platforms, and started giving us service. Point is, if you want to do something, you will find a way to deliver that. Be it, say, platform like Upwork or Fiverr, or there are a number of digital platforms which are available. If somebody wants to do it, will be able to do it. And let me tell you what stops. So 2 years back, when all of us were in lockdown, so what I did was I wrote a book. And when I wrote a book, one of my friend, Asit is also my friend, but he did not call me. Another friend called me, and he said, "Congratulations on your book." I said, "Thank you." He said, "But I will not read your book." And I was like, "What kind of reaction is this?" He said, "I will not read your book because your book is on Kindle and I don't have Kindle." And I was like, "Boss, you don't have to have Kindle for reading a Kindle book. You can download an app and do it." Now, these are the constraints in the mind. If you compare that Sabji wala and my friend, which is not Asit, of course, Asit is my friend. I'm saying he is not that friend who called. So, it is the mindset which actually drives the whole piece. Another piece, we generally take infrastructure as a constraint, whereas in today's world, infrastructure is not a constraint. I had a friend called Prasad, and you will have to tell me when I need to shut up, because otherwise I will keep continuing with this. So I will give you example of Prasad. So Prasad is like 65-year-old man. He is getting pension. Like these guys have to go to pension office and declare that I am alive. So he was in tension that my pension will not come. So I talked to him. He was talking to me my pension. So I talked to the pension office and I said, "Boss, we can't come because of COVID." The guy said, "No problem, sir. You don't have to come. We will do a WhatsApp call, and on a video call, I will certify that you are alive and you will get your pension." I thought Prasad will be happy, but instead of being happy, Prasad was furious. And I was also shocked. "Why are you furious? He's giving you pension." He said, if he could do this, then why he made me run around for past 5 years? He could have done it earlier also. It is the need. Now, when the physical world has started, after that, will people stick to digital means is a big question mark. Of course, your world is wider. But if you are getting more and enough in the physical world, will you switch to a digital world? That is a question mark, and that will stop people from learning. I see, I was traveling through a Uber, and I love Uber for a lot of reasons. So I asked the Uber driver, "I am trying to book." So he said, "Sir, you just check what is the rate, and then you don't book, you give me only that much money." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "If you pay through Uber, they will cut around 20%. So if you pay me directly, I will be getting more, and I will give you whatever service you are asking for. You can go there with me." Economics is also another aspect which will determine whether people want to learn. If there is need, people will learn. If economics is going the other way around and digital platforms will become costlier, then gig force is not going to use them. So I will stop here and pass on the baton to Peksha, you.
Thank you, Ranjit. Sushmita, I would like to come to you here and would like to understand how is your organization enabling tech for the frontline workers, and how the work environment has changed after the inclusion of tech, and what impact it has brought in a while. I'm sure there's a lot of questions clubbed into one, but I pass it over to you here.
Well, before I get into my organization, which is hospitality industry, I work for a food and beverage company called Light Bite Foods, and they are mostly into feeding people good food. But before that, generally, if I have to tell about organization, I think technology has become part of the life in every organization. Earlier, there was a hesitation and maybe a fear at a frontline level in terms of being a little techno savvy because they didn't have that education for it. But now most of the organizations have educated and tech savvy frontliners, and in fact I think they look forward to a company, an organization which has those friendly technology and software which will enable them to work better with more efficiency. So if you ask me specifically for our industry, that is service industry or hospitality industry, yes, we were entered into the technology world very quite late. Yes, we had the technology for the basic work and all which needs to have the systems on. We had this backend software wherein, we have the finance thing to be handled. We had the basic payroll software. We had the basic things of, billing system. However, as Mr. Harjit Kanduja said, COVID has taught us a lot in this 2 years, and we have really gone multifold in using technology in our industry also. Now, in my industry, we have two kinds of people whom we deal. It is a very people-centric industry, and we thought technology is not required, but now it is required. We have two sets of people we deal with for our organization. One is external customers, that is our consumers. That means who come and have our food, and we have to reach out to them or they reach out to us. Second is our own internal customers, that is our employees. Now, technology is helping us actually to engage with both the sets of people because they are everything for us. In the restaurant business and hotel business, the bricks, the buildings, or the cement, or the interiors do have these are hygiene factors. Technology is a hygiene factor, but people make the difference. Now, technology is now integrated with us to handle our people, both consumers and customers. I think we have a long way to go also still in implementing the best technology and it is ongoing process. But we have started enabling it for our industry. Yes. I'm sorry, what was the next question for me? How has it changed environment, is it? Yes, it has changed the environment immensely, where it is the speed, the efficiency, the transparency, the effective communication is what has come to me. And as I said, the consumer behavior, what do my consumers want to eat? What do I deliver to them? How can I reach out to them if they are not being able to reach my restaurant? Everything is technology now for us. Our delivery system, our customer management system, my employee engagement system. We have this dashboard which helps me to communicate with my employees without traveling anymore. The cost has gone so high, as Mr. Kanduja says. Travel has become so expensive. So huge cost to every aspect to go and reach out to your people when you have a nationwide and international level of business. So we have in India nationwide, we have in international in Washington DC, UAE, everywhere. How do you reach out to employees? It is technology. I think it's helping us a lot in reaching out to our people. But having said that, I think the human intervention is very important. I can tell from HR point of view. Technology enables the whole system to work more efficiently and with speed and with a lot of accuracy and helps in getting a database. But it can never replace human intervention is what I feel. So the human compassion, empathy, and talking, communication, one-on-ones are very important along with it for the work culture to make it a great place. Yeah.
Thank you, Sushmita. With that point, I would like to bring Tarun into the picture. So, Tarun, we do understand the importance of gig economy, and maybe in a kind of way, we can say that currently the nation is running on gig economy. So, can you share your views on high penetration of gig workforce in the Indian economy and how some of the platforms have accelerated their reach? Over to you, Tarun.
Sure, thank you. I would completely echo with Arjit and Susmita on the acceleration that we've seen as COVID has been with us for the next, I think, the third calendar year now, and hopefully the last for all of us. The fact that we are doing this session online and digitally, and how many we have participated in. Erstwhile, we were always doing it on ground as panels and in a physical environment is also another case in point that we see. So I would also add that the demand ecosystem is also changing. I mean, there's a massive acceleration towards needing a person for 7 days in a week, 24 days in a month, to can I have him for 4 hours? Can I have him for my peak on the weekend when retail gets into more of footfall? Can I have him for example, the big $1 billion day, right? Gigification is across. The demand need for organization is changing, and it also optimizes for the fact that instead of a fixed cost to a month, can I actually bring down my cost and bring it to a need basis, to a task basis, to a 4 hours that I need him for the week. What is happening on the flip side, if you look at from the worker's lens, is very important, right? Can I have a flexible working ecosystem? Can I choose my gigs? Can I work on the weekend at Reliance Retail or a Chroma? Can I do a gig with a logistics company, e-commerce in the evening? Can I do milk basket in the morning? And can I increase my earning per hour? So our aspiration as a platform is to actually balance both. How do we bring in cost optimization for the organization, and how do we increase the earning per hour? What is also very important, we already know the geo effect and digitization, and Harjeet will obviously advocate that in the sense that lower connectivity costs have gone down. You can get handset at a very low cost. What is also happening is that organizations and enterprises are more looking at a one-stop horizontal stack, in the sense that, do I have to deal with 10 partners today, right? I mean, if I have to manage my workforce through software, can I have one organization provide me that? If I have to outsource my workforce as a service and manage gig and contractual workers, can one organization do that for me? And it doesn't end here. We face a lot of attrition and non-engaged workforce here. It doesn't just end with the fact that I'm giving you a job. Can I improve his livelihood? And that is very important for us. It's not just earning per hour or earning per month. Can I give you affordable insurance? And Asit will obviously advocate for that. Can I give you affordable credit? I am the guy who finishes off my salary by 15th of a month. Can I give you advanced salary? I'm the guy who's the only earning member. Can I have a insurance cover over my head if I'm not there tomorrow, right? Can I reduce the cost of transportation in last mile by giving you an electric bike on lease, which is affordable for you? So I think this evolution is massively accelerated. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, work on his own time, earn more. And that's massively happening in the frontline worker also. And, we look at it organically and inorganically. We acquired a company called OkGo last month. And very interestingly, the only objective is how do we bring down the cost of managing this workforce for 30% by the organization? And how do I increase his earnings by 20% a month while doing flexi jobs? So I think we are evolving, and that is why it will only accelerate that platforms adopt.
Thank you, Tarun. Those were some great points with data and facts, and some excellent insights that you have shared. So with this, I would like to move to Asit here. Asit, how are the tech platforms playing a vital role in uplifting the dignity and well-being of frontline workers? And do you also think that expectation will become high for the workers, and technology needs to constantly evolve according to their needs?
Great. Thanks, Apeksha. I have a very valid point, and I agree with all the points which came from Sushmita, Tarun, and Harjeet. So I was going through some of the document and just talking about the size we're dealing with is, and in fact, Boston Consulting Group, they have published a report which says that today we are dealing with 8 billion Indian gig workers, going to be 3 times by 23-24. And going to be almost 12 times, which is almost 90 million Indian gig workers by end of the decade. So we're talking about that size of employee, and that's where we have to really work towards that to take care of those population. But that's eventually solving our problem, solving their problem as well. Today, if you look at the way most of the organizations deal with these people are, before technology came into picture, unequal policy, payment, unequal salary, maybe hire and fire, less communication, because they are on field. Most of them are on field, or they have a restricted communication, right? Restricted well-being. Yeah, so a couple of things. which require a lot of focus on the one is employee wellness. We are talking a lot about in last 3 years. We're talking a lot, and if you look at all the webinars, seminars happened, we spoke a lot about health and wellness, mental wellness, help for the people. Now, for this set of people, their dignity, their wellness is utmost important. They're a big size of population we're talking about, and which will help in taking care of how my technology is helping them. A technology which takes care of their well-being, which is today what's happening is most of the organizations are ready to provide them a digital capability, which is solving for their need, which is in wellness. One, there are let's say you have employee assistance program that talks about a lot of people can approach them for their mental well-being support, for self, for family, for anything which is related to personal as well as official. It's on the click of a button for them. They also sitting anywhere in the field, they can contact them and they can have a call with them. They need not to be in office. Technology is providing them a lot of upskilling opportunity. They can do it anywhere. It is not restricted to a classroom or you have to be in the office to attend this training program. Learning opportunities. Pay as per go. When payment whenever you need it. There are companies who are saying complete the work, get the payment done, because those are some of the employees, they need money on an immediate basis. Project milestone, get the money. There is one e-commerce, they have built in-house app, which they have given to almost 60 to 80,000 of their gig workers who are in field, which talks about not only the attendance, which also takes care of their SOS support. In case they are in a field and got into some kind of safety issue, they can just press that SOS button. They get a help. So it's not that they are left unattended by them. Other technology, what the gig workers are expecting today. Of my work, I can get a star rating from my every employer. I can demand my salary basis my star rating. Today, what's happening is Asit with X skill and X experience is getting a job. That's true for everyone. If my technology enable every employer, I work for someone, let's say I work for Harjeet, obviously he'll give me 5-star. But any employer, they give rating and then basis rating, I can demand my job also, I can demand my salary also. That enablement I'm expecting from technology to enable to take care of my well-being as well as my dignity. Today we are talking about some of the guys who takes care of food delivery, right? Or any kind of courier, especially food delivery. They have timelines, they have time limits. Ola, Uber, they have a time limit because they have to complete number of trips to get the incentives. Look at the rush. Look at at times they get into really dangerous way of driving. Why can't my clock stops when the traffic is there? I should not rush into delivering the food. So there's some things technology should enable me, and that's I'm talking about the individual well-being and dignity. They are human beings. They need all the respect and a dignified status as well as all other people. So I think technology plays a huge role, and it requires and the way we are developing, we are growing. Technology needs to develop accordingly and keeps on supporting these people in this journey. So that's what I believe is very important technology journey to enable my gig workers.
Thank you, Asit. Very quickly, Harjeet, I would like to come to you here, and we'll keep the answers very brief now because we need to take some audience questions as well at the end. So, Harjeet, how should organizations establish and maintain loyalty to the gig workers, and how significant is the role of technology to nurture this relationship? Over to you, very quickly.
Thank you, Apeksha. So I don't know whether I will be able to keep it brief, but I will keep it fast. The difference between employment and gig work is like marriage and live-in relationship. So in marriage, you get certain benefits. In live-in, you get certain freedom. So it is your choice which relationship you are going for. And I'm not passing a judgment on which one is good. Everyone has his or her choice that which relationship they want to get into. Now, like we were talking about, Asit was talking about well-being and dignity. So Basic things, well-being and dignity. Swiggy did an ad. Don't call the people who deliver food to you a Swiggy. They have a name which is written on their tag. Now, this is a basic thing which you can do for the people who work for you, and that creates loyalty. Um, I was talking to a Uber driver. So I'm calling him Uber driver because I booked Uber. So I asked him, why do you drive Uber? Why not Ola? He said, I drive both. So I said, which one you drive most? He said, whosoever gives business to me, I drive that. I said, still, which one is your preference? So he said, Uber is my preference. Then I asked why. So he said, one is payment is timely. This is the basic thing which they are focusing on. Payment is timely. And the calculation is clear. Whatever I am seeing on my screen, I get that. And second, for customers' mistakes, Uber doesn't penalize, Ola penalizes. And that was the differentiation which was coming out. Then another Uber driver I was talking to, this guy talked about, once I had a spat with a customer and customer took my car keys. I called on the call center and in some time there was a police van which came. So I thought now I will get beaten up. But Uber called that police van and they took care of that customer. Now, these kind of things, the safety which Asit and Tarun were talking about, these are the things which create that fabric, which makes that fabric stronger. Then you talk about incentive programs which Ola and Uber run on a weekly basis. You complete these many number of trips. So any kind of gamification, that helps. And then we were talking about contact center. Like if you see Uber, Ola, they don't have a contact center for customers, but they have a contact center for their employees, for their drivers, where they can call and they can actually share their grief, whatever they are facing. And these guys in the call center, they sit like HR guys and they console and they say, you are doing good. You should not think about these. We will solve your problems. This is what relationship means. Despite having a tech platform, there is a human interface which is not visible, but that doesn't mean it is not there. So since you said keep it brief, I will stop here and let's move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Arjit. Tarun, I'd like to come to you here and understand from you that technology has some advantages and disadvantages to face us more. But being an expert in this domain, would you like to share some of the do's and don'ts of digital platforms that may impact the frontline workforce?
Yeah, there are obvious advantages. Scale optimization that I mentioned before, right? Having all your solution under one shop, right? You don't need to go to multiple partners, right? But you have to also realize that when you look at the frontline worker, there is no enterprise grade solution that is specifically made for them. And that's the aspiration, right? I mean, the need of white collar hiring is skill based. So the need of blue collar frontline is mass hiring, right? So the solution has to be different. Can I get 100 people in a day, or in white collar, can I get 3 folks over a month, right? So it's a very different use case. I mean, you have to onboard in minutes, right? You have an output-based ecosystem, and one side you have a time-based ecosystem. You have compliances and regulations that need to be plugged, automated into the wage ecosystem, right? The frontline wage structure is very different. So what are the key do's that you're building when you're building a platform, right? One is automation. I mean, if you're not optimizing for an organization, they will not look for you. Otherwise, they can work in the managed service ecosystem, right? Is it configurable to different technologies? Can it adapt to what maybe a Reliance is using, or what Lightbyte is using, what a lending card is using? Can you co-create? Is it like nimble and agile? You can co-create with multiple partners, right? One stop I already called out on. Scalable architecture. As we scale and more users coming in, do we need to double click on architecture, or does it scale by default, right? Custom integration, API integration possible into different technologies that different organizations might be using. Interfaces should be accessible across interfaces, whether it's MWare, whether it's app, whether it's desktop. I think these are some of the do's and some of the advantages that you typically see in a platform.
Thank you, Tarun. Sushmita, very quickly over to you. So we talked about the significance of technology. Let's talk about the practicality, the implementation of it. So what are some of the key challenges the organizations are facing in implementing the usage of tech platforms for the frontline workforce? And would you also like to share some examples that you have faced and found the solution that helped your company?
Yeah, it's our industry is absolutely no technology to a lot of technology being, spitted up because post COVID. Yes, we had a lot of software and app on the back end, and we are trying to get in more and more technology into it. But again, the challenges are that you have so many options now. The choosing the best is again always a challenge to decide on, and it is again a challenge because I feel in our industry the longevity of these are very very short. They become very redundant very fast, so you have to upgrade yourself, update yourself in the technology, and it costs money. So for some organizations, I think it is very difficult to take out that kind of amount of the money to be technology upgradation for that. So I think that's one challenge that I think most of the organizations, especially in our industry, kind of industry where restaurant, food and beverage industry face. Second, challenge that I think I am facing is the resistance also from both the team members and the customers. So, for example, I'll tell you COVID, and it had wanted the contactless service need to be put into the restaurant. So we have this scanning the QR code, sir, and then you directly order from the menu. Not many actually customers would like that, or they find it to be cumbersome. They want to be in that old school of getting the service, getting that pampering done, and all that is missing with this technology coming, and they are not liking it. So even if we want to put technology into it, but there is resistance from the customers, many customers who do not want to get in there. They want the proper service to be given to them, even in terms of menu or any in terms of, and giving feedback in the technology so it is very cumbersome for them. Another resistance I see is from my own employees. Now, for example, I'll tell you from HR point of view. So my attendance for my employees for pan India, I have around 4,000 plus employees. Now I have my attendance to be, they need to be putting in the attendance through the software, mobile software or app that is there for attendance. There is resistance. Initially, there was resistance that we are being tracked. Where are we going? For example, salesperson, wherever he's got the attendance, by default it tracks as to where did they go, then where did they go, when did they end, from what time did they work, where did they go, and when did they end their whole duty, for the day. So they felt very intimidated, in the whole sense. So a lot of counseling had to be done to my employees that, if we do not get this discipline into it, do not get the discipline in terms of technology, then it's not going to work. And we are not there. Every person cannot be monitored manually. So it has to be done. So a lot of counseling for our own employees were also done in terms of challenges. But yes, the challenge is still there in terms of many other functions that I see from HR point of view, like PMS, performance management system, and other payroll system, recruitment system, database. So I feel there is a lot of glitches that needs to be still worked upon, and it's an ongoing process. Integration, as Tarun said, is again a problem. Integration of SAP with my payroll system, integration of this, so that is again a big hassle. But whatever said and done, we need technology to be part of our life. So counseling for the employees, explanation to the consumers, and endurance, lessons to our people who are actually trying to implement it. Patience is at the management level is required to get in technology, because ultimately it is going to give us discipline, give us transparency, speed, efficiency. So challenges will always be there. And I think with technology coming in, I feel that the challenge which has come in is the human intervention. We feel it is replacing the communication that we need to have on human level, talking to employees, talking to the consumers. Now you're talking to your consumers, your customers through only sending a feedback survey form. Why can't we talk to them one-on-one with, the way we used to do that? Why are we reducing that part? The human intervention is something which I think, to a certain extent, the machines and the artificial intelligence can do to make our life easy, but that cannot be our life. And I think that is where the challenge is. And young generation of today, they are being grown and educated in such a manner, they feel that virtual world, that AI world is the real world. That is where I feel is the challenge in the long run. So human interventions can never be, discounted, because we have great technology. So that is where I feel the major challenge is there. Our communication, social behavior is getting affected. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Thank you for your viewpoints here, Sushmita. I will quickly move to Asit here. And Asit, the BFSI sector has witnessed a rise in the adoption of gig workforce over the last couple of years. So with gig workers driving the agenda in the future, what role does tech have to play in creating the road ahead for these workers, specifically in your industry?
So in this area, I guess there are two aspects to it. One is for gig workers and as well as for employees and as well as the employer both. So technology has a very big role here in terms of solving their problem. One is gig workers with the help of technology. That workers can have one is definitely they have a salary as defined by what they decide, milestone based. That's all online. Where I'm sitting, I need not to wait for my paycheck to come. I've submitted my milestone, payment done. I have submitted my attendance, that is tracked. I need not to come and punch somewhere. At the same time, I am also helping these companies solving for their problem, which is sitting in remote, right? In terms of me, how the technology is helping me as a gig workers, I am getting support. So, okay, so gig workers, they don't have a very structured pay slip. So what is happening is they're not getting every month a defined salary month on month. When I go for a loan approval, I will not get a loan because if the company is, if the BFSI maintain the same level of checks for credit for in terms of providing me the loan, they won't be doing it. What technology in BFSI is doing it, they are checking a different method to check my credibility. They are checking how frequently I'm paying my bills, how frequently I'm not defaulting on some of the bills payment, and those aspects not on my salary structure and salary payment. That way technology is helping me in making my life easy, not to run around to get a structured salary slip or permanent bank account detail where it's asking me that you have to have a structured compensation every month. My policy, I'm changing my job. I'm not sticking to one employee for more than 6 months, let's say. Picking up different employment. How the technology is helping me is providing some insurance, which is company agnostic. I'm moving, but my insurance policy continues to be there. I should not be worrying about that. That's where technology is helping me in my running my own this work. So BFSI is somewhere helping me in. So today, if you look at company require for these people for their collections, credit, sales, BD, they have to penetrate to tier 2, tier 3 cities. And that's where while they are working at the same time, technology is solving for them so that they have a smooth life beyond the job also. So that's what I'm thinking. Technology is solving them beyond the normal traditional way of solving for the employment.
Sure. Thank you, Asit. So very quickly, the last round of questions before we get on to the audience questions. So I'll come to you, Harjeet, here. You have already backed your responses with a lot of anecdotes. So here, I'm requesting you to share some more examples of the change or the improvement you have witnessed due to tech interventions in the blue-collar ecosystem. A before and after comparison, if that could be made, will be a great addition here.
Let me give you an example. I was traveling by an Uber, and after the trip was completed, the guy told me, "Give me 5 star." Asit was talking about 5 stars. No, he told me, "Give me 5 star." And I said, "Why should I give you 5 star?" And he gave me a training answer. He said, "Otherwise, sir, he will call me and he will put me in a training room and he will waste my whole day." So it was like I did not like the response that how this guy is treating training. But thing is, these kind of organizations are bringing in customer focus, that at least this guy is now caring about what the customer feels. The person is asking at least. Earlier, this was not happening. Second is, I asked an auto guy. Now, in Bombay, Uber Auto has also started. Now, getting auto guys onto Uber kind of thing was a big thing, because on these auto stands had a lot of strong monopoly. And so I asked the auto guy, "Why are you driving Uber?" So he said, "Sir, I am driving Uber because now I have to stand less and I can earn more money in a day. Although they are paying me lesser, but I make more money in the same day. Now I don't have to go to stand. This guy comes, he's making more money, and I am paying less." And how the whole ecosystem is working? Because the usage has increased. Third thing, if you would have called like a urban company beautician to your house or a AC cleaning guy to your house. Earlier, if you call these guys, one is they don't come in uniform. Second is they come, they do the job, and after that you have to clean the mess. Now, if you say they come with proper tools, they clean the mess, and now they're creating an experience rather than doing the work. This professional training which we have started providing to the people out there, to the blue collar workforce, this has become possible only because of this. And there are a lot of other cultural factors which are happening right now. I saw a old Uber driver. So I asked him, "You look like, why are you driving Uber? You are already at 60. So he said, "I retired, but my responsibilities did not." And these guys are so good. They did not look at my age. They looked at my driving license and my ability to drive. You see where the fabric got changed? We have created some artificial constraints. From this time to this time, you have to work. This age, you have to retire. All those things are going out of window. This is the change gig workforce is bringing in. If you have a skill, we are not going to check your degrees. We are not going to look at your age. We are not going to look at your gender. We are not going to look at your caste. This is diversity and inclusion actually coming into effect, which otherwise organizations have been trying hard for quite some time. I will stop here. Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you, Archie. There were some great points and insight that you've shared. Sushmita, I'll move to you very quickly. And you belong to an industry which is very people-centric. So do you believe that technology will fuel the attraction of real talent in your industry?
Yeah, definitely. It is a people-centric industry. And, once upon a time, we thought technology is not going to help us at all. But now it is a basic need. And technology is definitely going to help in getting or attracting talent. Because if you see this generation of today, they grow up with technology. Their mind is instilled with artificial intelligence, and they grow up with the laptops and the Googles, and for them the knowledge guru is Google and the Wikipedias. So they have grown up in a very virtual world, and they're very that's their world, and now we have to infuse that world into our system. So if we are technology savvy, that they would feel comfortable coming in and working. So we So the talent also does not only mean that. The talent means they have the technology to improve their own aspirations and their own, the creations that they want to do or whatever they want to do as a job. If we do not give them the tool to showcase their talent, then the generation of today, we are not going to wait for years to be proving themselves. They are believe in instant results, instant rewards and recognitions, and instant result of what their outputs they are putting in, inputs they put, the output has to come in. So technology is basic need, the hygiene factor. It is no more a motivation factor. And they decide on their careers today, depending on what they read about a company in Google or any other platform where they get the feedback about. So we have to be so conscious of our companies that the online reputation management for us, the ORM, has to be high, because my real talent is reading me out in that platform, and then only going to decide whether yes they want to join on us or not. So there are a lot of factors of technology which will affect us in terms of attracting talent. Why only talent? It can be the potential customers for us. It can be any work partners. It can be any other stakeholders who want to partner with the company. They look at technology first and see what is there. Of course, again, an HR person, I would say technology, but with the right work culture. They would look for it. But you can't miss out on either of it. So technology has to be there, the right work culture has to be there. So the balance factor has to be there for both. For technology, you can attract the talents to come and join you because it is looks aspirational organization for them. But the work culture will retain them, and they will work for you with with fully engaged, because you have the right place to work also. The work culture has to be also along with it. So technology and the right work culture go hand in hand. So nothing works without the right work culture. Yeah.
Thank you, Sushmita. Tarun, I would like to move to you here, and very quickly, if you can share some of the upcoming trends that will make the world of the frontline workforce more technology friendly.
I'll keep it short. So I think completely echo the panelist views, right? And one interesting real use cases that Harjeet is putting forth. And from Susmita, balancing empathy with technology, it will always complement it and never replace it completely, right? The human touch will always be there. And it comes from the stories that Harjeet also put forth, right? So it's very important to understand the use case of this person and what makes him, when you're talking about scalable platforms, ease of use is very important. Imagine a guard working at a security company. His consumption and ease of use of an app is very different for the people in this conference, right? Is it better to give him pictorials to choose his shift than give him literature? Better to give him vernacular, and how can he in 3 clicks mark his attendance, choose his shift? So we have to be empathetic to the fact that you have to understand your end user, and that is only the way the platform can scale. And I think I will again come back. How are we improving his livelihood? With 66% attrition in last mile delivery, how are we ensuring that the person stays with you? Again, benefits, affordable insurance, improving his livelihood. Can I give him better living conditions than what he does and he spends today, right? Can I give him insurance which he can afford? Can I give him salary when he needs it and even early? So I think the more that we get him engaged and ring fence him with the benefits and improve his livelihood, can the platform scale? So I think these are very important. You have to look at from the lens from the worker, you'll be successful. It is not only technology. Yeah.
Thank you, Tarun. Great insights there. Asit, very quickly, the last question to you before we move to the audience questions. The gig economy has taken the center stage as technology boosts multiple opportunities. So how do you think the gig economy is changing your industry for the better?
Just an example, Axis Bank, they have opened a app which said gig and opportunity kind of gig, where they have opened 2 models. One is 100% flexible. Second is on project-based, contract-based, assignment-based work. So they have an app where they are hiring people only for that. So the way they are promoting is by the name gig opportunities. People are applying there, and that is what they are trying to penetrate. And I'm repeating that, penetrating that tier 2, tier 3 cities where they don't have branches, maybe some of the pin codes where they can't reach out. This is helping those people are sitting on those locations, getting a job remote and working for Axis Bank as a gig worker. So, and they are the kind of work we are solving them for in terms of, let's say, credit card, again, cancellation, collections, risk, credit, policy, everything they're doing it. So this economy, what every BFSI is doing and all fintech are doing is in order to, go in the interior villages of India. They have these people, they are solving it them with the technology. With technology, they are not feeling away from the main corporate. They are with them. What they're doing is they're helping them solve the problem and solving for both employment generation as well as for the employer, saving the cost, saving from in terms of having multiple cities opening a center, having people working for them, and solving for short-term assignment, long-term assignment, and all the stuff. They're helping them. That's why I think BFSI getting help from technology and vice versa for the people in terms of getting employment both sides. So I think that's where we are, BFSI working with the help of technology and helping gig workers.
This has been a great conversation with all of you, but still not to that as of now. Let's quickly move on to the audience questions. So there's this question which talks about, are there any drawbacks that can be kept in mind while introducing tech to the blue-collar workforce? So Harjeet, Asit, any one of you would like to take this up? Asit, yeah.
I missed the point. What you said?
Are there any drawbacks that can be kept in mind while introducing tech to the blue-collar workforce?
I would not. I would not start with a drawback. I'll start with, because if I start with a drawback, I'll try to say how to ensure this is taken care. Job is in good hands, right? So while at the same time, in my mind, I'm very, very highly of just thinking that drawbacks is not drawbacks. I may think about how to ensure people are delivering. Today, if it's more about time, it's about the output. Rather than how much time someone has spent on a job, what is the outcome people are delivering. So if you consider that, okay, if people are working remotely and I need to keep track of their attendance, do that, because that's also important for gig workers. Some of the safety measure I have to do it and while technology will help enabling that. Everything is possible through technology. While person sitting away, they can be tracked. If that is the requirement, that the timing is essential. If not, I can definitely have other options where person can be safe also. Drawbacks is also where gig workers, as an employer, I need to take care of my employee also. The safety part of it is a both way I believe is important. I need to take care, not the drawback. I need to take care of all the edge cases. Main, I can take care. Edge cases, I need to be careful and then work for them. Sorry, Sushmita is saying something.
Yeah, Sushmita.
Is it drawback of having technology in place? Is that the question?
No, it was the
introducing tech to the blue collar workforce. So are there any drawbacks of that when you introduce tech interfaces to blue collar workers?
What I have experienced is resistance. They feel it is not required, and it is sometimes a hindrance towards their regular work. They have a particular way of getting working, and the particular way of putting, say, for example, what Asit said, attendance. They have a particular way of working. They feel it is an interference sometimes. And, that is only going to be, we can only overcome, and their mindset they need to go through a paradigm shift actually through counseling. And there has to be a softness and a firmness in that counseling. So I have faced this. So there is a lot of resistance. For example, if you put a learning management system and you want them now to be regulating their training, that they have to go through this food recipe so that they understand what is the standard of making a dal makhani. And the dal makhani has to be known in Kochi, has to be known in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Washington DC, and Lucknow, Jammu. It has to be standardized. But then the resistance is there to go through it once. Now it is because we have LMS, we are being able to regulate, monitor. They are now doing it, and now they are enjoying it. But definitely the first thing which should come for anybody to start something new is, I think, resistance. And there has to be a lot of awareness workshop before, putting them to making them change their mindset. So this is what I have experienced. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Sushmita. We noted that. And Tarun, there's a specific question for you here. How have companies got benefited from the tech platforms like BetterPlace? Can you share some interesting data points here?
I think I've shared a bit of use cases. Like I said, that what is important from a client perspective. And I said you have to look at the client's lens and the worker's lens. If you're looking at one side, you will never solve for the ecosystem, right? One is that can we, and very interesting use cases that Sushmita said, we're doing a similar work for Rebel Foods. Imagine that you have to tell a person how to cut meat or cut it the right way at 20,000 locations and 20,000 folks in one day. The efficiency of technology cannot be diluted, but there will always be blockers and resistance. How do I ensure that through the app, I make that journey very seamless and user-friendly for him? Can I do it in 3 clicks? You use the mind recall and the patience of the frontline worker if actually your training video is more than 3 minutes. So you have to understand these nuances, like what we can consume, or probably books we can reach with the 500 pages. You have to adopt to the fact that how can I remove the blockers? How can I empathize? When there's a grievance module in, for example, a platform, I don't think a worker will like that a chatbot is responding to him. So we have a physical ecosystem behind that when it comes to grievances. So they feel that there's a human interface, that balancing. And when you're dealing, so we have multiple such use cases will be solved by understanding. If I solve for the worker, I solve for the organization. If I solve for an engaged worker, I solve for the organization. I think if you do that, automatically solving for the organization. And obviously, one-stop shop, right? Like Sushmita was said that for attendance, I might have to go to a different partner. For staffing, I might have to go to a different partner. For, the payroll, I have to go to another. Can we provide the organization to optimize under one window and just stitch it together rather than going every single new partner for a new solution? I think those are important. So those are the things we're aspiring to do today.
Thank you, Tarun. So in the benefit of time, this is going to the last question, and this has been directed to you, Harjeet. The delegate would like to ask you, how has gig economy changed organizations' perspective of prioritizing skill over degree?
So, look, in the new economy, it is the skill which is important, because most of the jobs you are creating are around the skill. If you open any of the gig platforms, they ask you, what is that you want to do? It starts with there. Like you open Uber, it is where you want to go. Same way, if you go to, say, a platform like Upwork, the job is clearly defined that this is what the deliverable is. And for the deliverable, you don't need degree, you need skill. And what degree has been replaced by those ratings. If somebody has written, Zomato comes and Myntra comes and asks for rating. People want trust. People want to trust that if I'm giving work to someone, the person will be able to deliver. Trust can come either from saying, look, the credentials are very solid. The people who are doing the work are from good institutes and they have degree. Or second is, they have served so many customers and customers are saying they're good, so you should trust them. What society is doing is, society has moved from degrees to ratings. So if sort of a society has moved, then businesses also will have to move. There is no option, there is no choice. That's what my take on this is.
So much, Harjeet, Asit, Sushmita, and Tarun for joining us today for this conversation. This has been absolutely interesting and very insightful. Thank you to all the audience, the delegate also, who have taken out time to join us at this discussion today. You have all been very patient and very interactive. Thank you for keeping the conversations ongoing throughout the session. Thank you, everyone. It has been great connecting with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Apeksha, for this opportunity also.
Thank you, Apeksha. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Great
nice meeting you, Tarun. Nice meeting you, Sushmita.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
seeing
you
you
all.
again.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.